Hello, everyone. This is Evangelist Goliath'S, and I'm coming to you today with my message of today. And my message of today is defeating your Goliaths. I'm speaking on David and Goliath because David is one of the most popular kings that was anointed as a boy. He was overlooked by so many people because they didn't think he had what it takes to be a servant of the Lord. He was looked over by his family, by his brothers, by people around him because he was so young, and God anointed him, sent Samuel to anoint him when he was young. But he did not become king right away. He kept tending to his father's sheep. He, was just being a good servant of the Lord, doing what he needed to do, obeying what his father and big brothers had asked of him, even though they insulted him, even though they looked down on him. But his hope and his faith and his trust was in the Lord. And all the time while he was doing that, working a dead-end job, maybe that's where you're at right now. You may think you're working a dead-end job, that it has no significance, not knowing that God is really training you for the battle that you will have to face in the future. Because anything God calls you to, it has to be repeated until you get perfected at it. That's just like anything negative that you do over and over and over again. You will get used to doing it. So why not get used to developing your craft? Why not get used to changing your mindset? Why not get used to believing in God and calling on the name of Jesus? Because the name of Jesus has power. And a lot of people, when life circumstances get the best of them, they think that, where's God at? But remember, the teacher is always quiet during the test. And some things we do have to go through hard, and God is always perfecting your faith, perfecting your strength, to see what you give up, to see what you not believe. So I always tell people who come across me who feel like they have such a hard time, even if you have a mustard seed of faith, hold on to faith in the name of Jesus, because that name has power, and sooner or later, God will show up and show out in your life. So I'm speaking on defeating your Goliaths, because sometimes all we have to do is change something for the miracle to work, for God to come through, for the blessing to be activated on your life. And it can be, your Goliath could be a wrong mindset, thinking negative all the time, not believing, not having faith that things could change or turn around for you. And that is a lie from the pits of hell, and Satan trying to keep you in that mind state, because God died to give you an abundant life. He died so that you can be free, that you can be happy, so the joy of the Lord will be your strength. And so a lot of people lose hope, lose faith when their Goliaths in their life started screaming and taunting them. So if you are a believer in Jesus and you read the Bible, we know the story of Goliath and David, as I was speaking on a little earlier. David being a teenager and perfecting his craft by tending sheep and using a slingshot to play in his father's backyard. But that talent eventually killed Goliath, which was a 9 feet giant that was taunting the people of God, and your Goliath, like I said, it can be a mountain of debt. It can be negative. It can be money. It can actually be a person that's taunting you, asking you, why do you call on the name of Jesus? Why do you think God will show up for you? But you have to keep believing, even when people don't believe in your God, or when things are not coming together around you and you're wondering where God is. He is doing something in you. Sometimes he's doing a work in you to build your faith, to strengthen you for your battle, for what's to come, because he's the God that goes before you, behind you, around you. He know what's all coming that you may not understand at this time. So don't get frustrated in whatever season that you're in. Just remember to keep calling on the name of the Lord, because God will show up for you. So, like I said, I'm speaking on Goliath and David, because Goliath was like this big giant who was taunting the people of God. And so David, when he found out that this uncircumcised Philistine was taunting the people of God that believed in other gods and started cursing him with his other gods and stuff, David said he didn't have confidence in himself. He had confidence in the name of the Lord. David came after him with just a rock and a sling that he used in his father's backyard for years and years and years. And it could have seemed like, forever to David, but he never knew that was going to be the thing that God used to give him the victory. So that's why I'm telling you, whatever you're doing that you think is insignificant, God can always use that to bring you a mighty victory in your life if you call on the name of the Lord. So David ran to him. He didn't turn from this big giant where everybody else, the other people of God, was scared and terrified. He ran toward this Goliath with a rock and a sling and killed him, because he said, you come to me cursing me by your gods. I come to you in the name of the Lord, whose you defied today, whose people you defied. So he had so much confidence in who Jesus was, and that God would hear him, and that God will activate, by him activating his faith, God will move on his behalf. It wasn't David's strength that killed the Goliath. It was the Lord's strength that killed him, because he had faith. Just like with Abraham, it wasn't everything that he did right or he followed all the rules. God moved on Abraham's behalf because he believed God. He had faith. No matter how hard things went, no matter how fearful he was, he believed what the word of God said to him, the promises of God. And so that's what I'm telling you today. If you want to know the story of David and Goliath, is in 1 Samuel chapter 16, I believe. I thought my Bible was right here, but it's somewhere else. But yeah, it's in 1 Samuel chapter 16. Read the story of David and Goliath. So we have to face our Goliaths. I work on some of my Goliaths too, because the Goliaths, it will taunt you. It can be, like I said, your circumstances, a wrong mindset, actual people that think that the Lord will not show up for you, and that's where they will have it wrong. If you face your Goliaths in the name of Jesus, knowing that it is not your power, not your might, but the name of the Lord that has power and that has strength, and you take action toward changing certain mind states. When a negative thought comes in your head, you cast it down in the name of Jesus. No, I'm not going to think this way. I am a forgiving person. I'm a loving person. I'm going to prosper. I will lend and not borrow. I'm blessed and cannot be cursed. You have to activate your faith and speak the positive words over you for your mind state to change. And it has to be repeated, just like I spoke on David. You have to continue to repeat good actions to get change across your life, and then God will move on your behalf. But nothing will change if you don't change. You can't live a positive life with a negative attitude. So that's all I want to tell you. Facing your Goliaths will bring about God's miracle and blessing in your life. And sometimes the battle can be harsh. Sometimes it can be just wore out and tired, but you have to keep your faith in God that things will change, and you keep moving toward doing better, speaking positive, thinking better, trying to change your mindset, your situation. God will cancel your debt in due time. God will give you a new dream if the old dream died. You have to put your faith and hope and trust in God. So that's what I want to tell you. Defeating your Goliath is going to take strength from Jesus. And God bless you all.